Welcome to L&T's Arts and Crafts. Today we are going to learn how to design a plain pattu saree for three different occasions. That is, suppose if you are going to attend a marriage, you can design bridal wear, or else if you are going to attend any party like birthdays or kitty parties, you can design party wear, or if you want to look at different, you can design designer wear. Choosing the color of the saree and border plays important role while designing for particular occasions. Here I have chosen dark pink saree and golden motifs, golden work border and stones, etc. Let us start stitching border. Before going to stitch border, we need to check the pallu part, because the edge of the pallu should be a straight line from one edge to another edge. So to check this straight line of the pallu at the edge, we need to check with L scale. Take an L scale and keep one edge of the pallu and see whether the pallu edge is straight line from one edge to another edge. If it is not in straight line, and if it is having some extra part or uneven part, so make a straight line with marker and cut out all uneven pieces or extra pieces of the saree. Then it will be a straight line. So this is very important, because whenever we are stitching border, the corners of the pallu and at the edge of the pallu looks good. Otherwise, the uneven parts will come and it won't be looks good. Start stitching border from that point. This should be at the upper side of the saree. While stitching border from that point, that is from 2.5 meters from the measuring from the pallu, is very important, because we need 2.5 meters from pallu. While stitching, it is very important and we need to be very careful, because the border is having stones as well as pearls. So while stitching, if the needle is fall on any pearl or a stone, needle may break or it may harm you. So it is very important while stitching. We need to be very careful. And one more thing, important thing is the border, edge of the border and as well as edge of the saree should be even. Then only the finishing of the saree will be good. the edge of the saree, that means uh, pallu part. While stitching the border at pallu, so at pallu we have two corners. So stitching corner with border is very important because it should be a proper stitching, otherwise it won't be looks good. So the stitching of the edge of the pallu with the border, so take half inch of the saree and fold it inside, and on top of that keep the border as shown and fold left side and move a needle with hand manually and very slowly and turn the border as well as saree. It's a corner part, so while stitching it's very important. See, by hand we need to move one by one stitch and then keep on stitch with hand and then start stitching with if it is a machine stitch or else if it is a manual stitch. Stitch slowly all over the pallu part as well as second corner of the pallu and bottom part of the saree. This is one side of the border we are stitching, and we can see the other end of the border how we can stitch. Likewise, we need to stitch all over the saree, that means bottom part of the saree. While stitching the edges, you need to be very careful. It should not be slip outside. Both border as well as the saree should be even always. Now stitching on other end of the border. So here it is very difficult because always all pearls and stones are there. So we need to be very careful while stitching the other end of the or other edge of the border. We need to stitch very slowly and always adjust the saree properly, otherwise the stitch may not be proper. You need to keep the saree as well as the border with plain mode, means that it should not be any fold in between the border as well as the saree. It is a bit difficult to stitch with stones and pearls borders because while stitching the needle may fall on pearls or stones, so you need to be very careful. So likewise we need to stitch all over the border from one edge to another edge of the saree, including pallu corners. So now see all over the saree border has been stitched. So now see how it looks. It looks very decent looks. Very good finishing of the border. Keep these two motifs at both the corners of the pallu. In between of the motifs, I place the stone, a small motifs having stones. Using these small motifs, apply the glue and stick on in between. These small motifs will be all over the saree, but in pallu area the gap in between the small motifs will be the less, because the pallu should looks good. So we need to stick much more small motifs. So I'm using here L scale for straight line. So the small motifs I'll stick with glue will be even and proper line, straight line. Likewise, we need to stick all small motifs all over the saree using, or if you want you can use L scale for a straight line. So you can stick using L scale like this. So while using this L scale, the line, the straight line, it will be a straight line, so all the small motifs looks even. The space in between the one small motif to other small motif line will be very less at the pallu area, and if you go body part of the saree, the motifs, we can increase the space between motifs. This is how we can easily design. See how the old saree, how it looks. It looks very nice. So it is giving a grand look. It's very simple. It's a simple design and it gives a grand look. This is how we can easily design a bridal wear. This is how you can easily design a saree for bridal occasion on your own. Thanks for watching. Next comes party wear and designer wear. Thank you.